Greetings, fellow YouTubers. I just want to discuss some of the data that we are obtaining from this phenomena that's going on right now all around the world. It's Saturday, February 27th, and there was a major quake in Chile. It was about an 8.8, pretty close to the biggest one ever. Coupling that with several 7s and 6.8s over the last week or so, I'm beginning to see an extremely new pattern, sort of like a duality that the sun is having. We understand perfectly now that this duality is between our star and a binary star to our sun that interact with each other. While it is apparent that all this information is being hidden from us, so therefore the data that we're obtaining is limited to the hidden truth. But what I begin to see is this duality effect on the sun as Nibiru approaches and makes its crossing. We see two similar snowstorms on the East Coast, and then spaced apart within a lunar cycle or so, a 6.5 quake, two of them. And one was actually a 6.9 over from, this was between February 5th and February 15th, and now it's February 5th and February 17th, and it's now the 27th, which is 10 days later. So last night I was wondering, I said, what the heck is going on with the sun? Because we saw the poles flip, and we saw the rays also flip. And then we saw this deviation, this duality. And what's strange is it hasn't deviated back the other way. And I thought about it, and now my theory goes like this. And that is, during the crossing of this nibiru, of this binary star, it passed us because it's traveling so fast, and it didn't kind of whip around the sun as quickly as maybe a comet would. So I believe what happened was it overshot our sun by a substantial distance, and it's been 10 days, and now we begin to see another duality on the way back. And you see, there was similar dualities with the solar winds also. There would be a burst of solar wind, and everything would go negative, and it was just odd. And the two sunspots that we were watching were well-defined, two north and south pole sunspots, and now we have multiple sunspots, and we have a deviation in the opposite direction of the sun's rays, so they're pointing south, they're pointing northeast to southwest, rather than how it should be from the last pole flip, where they were pointing northwest to south, to southeast. So this other deviation comes at another lunar cycle on a full moon, and it's been 10 days, so we should see something substantial within the next 10 days if all this is panning out. And the data that we're collecting on the earthquakes and the underground volcanoes and even the underwater volcanoes that are shocking, Japan, off the island of Fiji, some type of Fiji off of Japan, and what is to become of Yellowstone? Will this continue to see? Will we continue to see this duality for some time, or will the duality end, and we'll finally see that it was more than just a duality? It was at least two sets, if not even two sets of dualities, which makes four. You could look at it as eight. You could look at it multiple times when you're looking at the sun, and you can understand maybe in some way what the next event will be. And by putting together this data, we start to see how the sun's poles flip to begin with, and the real cause and effect of our binary star, which without a doubt is real. I mean, there's no doubting it. It's just that they want to hide it so much, that they're so intent on lying to us about the aliens, about the civilizations on Mars, or whatever it be. You know, you just got to open up your eyes and start putting the pieces together yourself. Shit, we rang the bell twice already. We're on our third ring. Will there be another one? I suspect there will. There will be. And it looks like one of those volcanoes is getting ready to blow. A big ass one underwater. If not, that's what's going on right now. So, as long as everybody starts to realize what's going on, there's a lot of fear for people all over the world right now. Even Chile, Japan, okay, Haiti. What's to come of the United States, California, Alaska, the Philippines, and the list goes on. And we seem to be at a multiple peak. It was a peak. We peak in February and continue to peak towards the end of February. So it's taken close to 4 weeks. So you see how time makes a difference when you're waiting on an effect, you know, of something big passing by and then passing by again and being sent on its way. So, you know, all we could do is stand by, monitor this situation, and then realize how dangerous it really is on the human body itself when if indeed these solar flares become deadly, which they're trying to make it out to seem like it will be. But, you know, for the last 10 years, we also saw some activity in the sun that wasn't so devastating. There was a blackout, I recall. Europe had a blackout because of that solar cycle. So anyways, peace be with you. I wanted to get as much information out there as I could. The earthquakes continue. The volcanoes continue to erupt. The duality becomes a quadality. Now there's four sets. And we're waiting out the last set. And here's another thing that comes to mind. I'm starting to wonder if the sun's going to make its another flip that will set it up for a complete 90-degree flip. You know, comes in, flips 45 degrees, goes out, flips another 45 degrees, completing the precession. This is the precession that they speculated on. Now Newton, on the other hand, speculated on the precession, but only said that it could be possible with our sun because of our sun. But he didn't realize at the time that we did have this duality with another binary star system. So now it becomes apparent that the precession isn't accurate. What do you call it? It's an accurate study on how the wobble of the Earth is maintained, and also the wobble of the sun, as we see now. So, you know, building up a lot of information, building